All right, so picture this scenario for a second.
Right.
You walk into one of those, a really high-end car dealership, showroom floors gleaming, you've got that new leather smell everywhere.
Arc with you, the dream scenario.
Right, and you drop a serious fortune on a high-performance sports car. Let's say a Ferrari, an absolute engineering marvel.
Mm-hmm.
It's got adjustable suspension, variable drive modes for rain or track, active aero. Even the seats move 18 different ways to fit you perfectly.
That sounds completely insane. Nobody would buy that and not use it.
Exactly. But then you drive it off the lot, and you never touch a single button.
Oh, no.
You don't adjust the mirrors. You don't move the seat. You don't touch the drive modes.
Yeah.
You drive this masterpiece exactly how it came from the factory, even if your knees are like banging against the steering wheel.
You're just hunched over miserable.
Yeah.
You're basically throwing money away.
And yet, that is exactly what millions of golfers do. Every single year. They'll go out, spend $600, maybe $800 on a new driver. It comes with a fancy wrench, a thick manual, sliding weights, adjustable hosels. And what do?
Put it in the bag and never touch it. Not once.
Not once.
It's the great irony of modern golf, really. We've got more tech in one club head today than we had in the entire bag 20 years ago. But the sources we pulled for this deep dive, and we have everything from Hireko and MyGolfSpy to raw data from TrackMan, they all say the same thing.
What's that?
If you aren't adjusting it, you're leaving performance on the table. You're driving that Ferrari in first gear.
Which brings us to today's deep dive. We are demystifying the tech in the bag. We have a huge stack of research here, launch monitor data, physics breakdowns, even forum discussions from team Titleists just to see what players are confused about.
And the confusion is very real.
No, it's real.
And the mission today isn't to turn you into a club builder. We don't want you messing with epoxy in the garage. We just want to turn you into an informed player.
So you can go from just hoping the ball goes straight
to understanding the physics of why it goes where it goes, and how a few turns of a wrench might actually fix that slice you've had for a decade.
I love the sound of free yardage. Who doesn't?
Exactly. It's optimization, plain and simple.
But, you look at the bottom of a modern driver, it feels like the cockpit of a spaceship. Weights, ports, screws, letters, numbers. It's intimidating. So where do we start?
We have to start with the most common and honestly the most misunderstood tool in the kit.
The wrench.
The wrench and what it connects to. The adjustable hosel, that little sleeve where the shaft meets the head.
Right, the clicky thing. Now, my logic, and I'm guilty of this, it's pretty simple. It has numbers. I want to hit it higher. I turn it to the higher number. Add loft. Lower. I turn it down.
It feels simple, but that's the trap. Yes, it changes loft, but our sources at Golf Tech and Practical Golf show it does something else that is, frankly, much more important for the average golfer.
And most people don't realize it's happening.
Not at all. It changes the face angle?
Okay, let's unpack that. Geometry was not my best subject.
Yeah.
How does changing loft, which is up and down, change the face angle, which is left and right?
It's a bit of a mind bender. You have to think about how that sleeve works. It's an angled cylinder, not just a hinge. So when you rotate it to add loft, the face doesn't just tilt up.
Okay.
Because the club has to sit flat on the ground. That's the constraint. That adjustment forces the face itself to rotate.
So you can't change one without the other.
Exactly. There's a very strong correlation. The rule of thumb from the experts is this. For every 1 degree of loft you change,
just 1 degree,
you are altering the face angle by about 2 degrees.
2 degrees, that's massive in golf. That's the difference between the fairway and the lake.
It's huge. A couple degrees open or closed at impact is everything. So let's play this out. You have a 10.5 degree driver. You want a higher launch, so you crank it up to 11.5.
Okay.
You're not just looking at the sky more, you have actually closed the face.
Wait, really? Adding lofts closes the face, so it points left.
Correct. For a right-handed golfer, it points left.
This is a major aha moment for me. Because what's the #1 miss in golf for the average player?
The slice, that banana ball.
Exactly. So if I'm a slicer, adding loft is a deliberate strategy to fix it.
It's a specific strategic move. It's what we call a double whammy of help. First, more loft adds backspin, which is stable and fights side spin. But more importantly, that closed face physically counteracts your tendency to leave the face open.
So you're baking a correction right into your setup.
Precisely. Now flip it. What if you're a better player who fights a hook?
So you hit it low and left.
Right. And you think, I need more height, so you add loft.
which would be a
A
disaster.
total disaster. You'd close the face more and make the hook worse. Snap hooks all day.
So for a hook, you want to lower the loft.
Exactly. You turn that sleeve to -1, which opens the face angle. That helps stop the face from shutting down too quickly.
That is wild. You have to stop thinking of loft as just trajectory.
It's directional bias. It's a two-dimensional adjustment.
Okay, speaking of loft, we have to touch on the ego factor, what the fitters call the vanity loft myth.
Oh, yeah, a classic. The guy with the 8-degree driver who wants to hit it low and piercing like the pros.
But does that actually work?
For almost no one. The data from my Golf Spy's robot testing is clear. For the vast majority of swing speeds, lower loft does not equal more distance. It often kills it.
Because the ball just falls out of the sky too fast.
Pretty much. Unless you have elite speed, we're talking over 105, 110 miles an hour, you need that loft to keep the ball airborne long enough to carry. And remember what we just learned.
Lowering the loft opens the face.
So now you're hitting it shorter, and you've probably just introduced a slice. Not a great trade-off.
Okay, so that's the hosel. Now what about all the other stuff on the bottom of the club? The sliding weights, the screws. What's happening inside the head when we move those things around?
To get this, you have to visualize the center of gravity, or CG. My Golf Spy uses brilliant analogy. They said to imagine the CG inside a driver head exists within a tiny, tiny box, about 12 by 14 millimeters.
That's like the size of a micro SD card. It's minuscule.
It's tiny, but, and this is the key moving weight, even 1 or 2 millimeters inside that tiny box changes everything.
So let's break it down. You've got heel to toe, and you've got front to back. Let's start with heel versus toe. That's usually labeled draw and fade, right?
Yeah, correct. That's your primary directional control. If you slice, you want more weight in the heel of the club.
The part closest to the shaft. Why does that work?
Think about it like swinging a hammer. When you put weight in the heel, you're making the toe lighter. That allows the toe to rotate around the shaft axis faster.
So it helps the club face close at impact.
It helps it catch up, yeah. We call it draw bias. It helps prevent you from leaving the face open.
And for a hook, you do the opposite.
Slide that weight to the toe. More weight there slows down the face rotation. It keeps it from shutting too quickly.
Heel for slice, toe for hook. Makes sense. Now, front to back. This is where it gets interesting, especially with the pro models.
This is the battle between forgiveness and pure speed. When you move weight to the back of the head,
As far from the face as possible.
right, you're increasing the MOI, or moment of inertia.
I see MOI on every ad. What does high MOI actually feel like?
It feels like stability. MOI is just resistance to twisting. So if you hit the ball off center, a high MOI club won't twist as much in your hands.
So the ball flies straighter on misting.
Yes, straighter, and you lose less distance. Weight back is forgiving. It's the best setting for, I'd say, 90% of golfers.
But the pros put the weight forward. The low spin models.
Many do. Because when you move the CG forward, right up behind the face, you drastically reduce spin. Low spin plus high speed is the recipe for huge distance.
But there's a catch.
There's always the catch in golf physics. The catch is forgiveness. With the weight forward, the MOI plummets. If you miss the sweet spot by even a little bit, your distance and accuracy just fall off a cliff.
So weight back is like driving with traction control on.
That's a perfect analogy.
And weight forward is turning it off for maximum speed, but you better know how to drive.
You are trading safety for raw horsepower.
This twisting we're talking about,
Yeah.
it leads to a concept that came up in all our technical sources. It has a great name. The gear effect.
It really is the engine of ball flight correction.
Yeah.
You have to think of the ball and the club face as two gears meshing.
Okay, ball is one gear, face is the other.
Right. So imagine you hit the ball off the toe. That impact forces the club face to twist open to the right.
Yeah, I can picture that.
Now, because the club is twisting to the right, the friction, the gearing, imparts the opposite spin on the ball. It spins the ball to the left.
So the club twists right, but the ball spins left.
Yes. A toe hit creates draw spin. The club is trying to save you from your bad swing.
That's incredible. And the opposite happens on a heel strike.
Spot on. Hit it off the heel, the club twists close to the left, and the gate effect puts fade or slice spin on the ball, pushing it right.
So wait, this is actually critical. If I'm a slicer and I'm hitting it off the heel, I am just pouring gas on the fire.
A total disaster. A heel strike promotes a fade. This is why you have to know where you're hitting it on the face. Use some foot spray, see your impact location.
Got it. Okay, let's move away from the head. Let's talk about the engine. The shaft. This is where people get really confused. Length, flex, torque. Let's start with length. Longer has to be better, right? More speed.
Only if you enjoy looking for your ball in the woods.
Fair enough.
I mean, yes, it's basic physics. A longer lever, a longer arc creates more velocity. Our sources from Hireko and smashing drives say for every half-inch you add, you gain about 1 mile per hour of swing speed.
Which is what, 3 or 4 yards?
It's about 3.5 yards. So going from a 45-inch to a 46-inch shaft should get you 7 yards on paper.
Right.
But studies show golfers are 45% more accurate with a 44-inch driver than a 46-inch driver.
45%. That is a game changer.
It is. And the problem is off-the-rack drivers keep getting longer, 45.5, 46 inches. It sells distance in the simulator. But on the course, a longer shaft makes it much harder to find the sweet spot.
And if you miss the sweet spot, you lose speed anyway.
Exactly. We call it smash factor. Ball speed divided by club speed. A longer shaft might increase your club speed, but if your smash factor drops because you hit it off the toe, you can actually lose distance.
So shorter might actually be longer.
For most players, yes, control is speed.
Okay, what about torque? I see that number on shafts. Is lower always better?
That's the common misconception. Torque is just the shaft's resistance to twisting. A low torque number means it's very stable. That's generally good for really fast swingers or people who hook the ball.
And high torque.
High torque means it twists more easily, but that twisting can actually help slower swingers or slicers square the face at impact. It feels smoother, more active.
So an expensive low torque tour shaft might actually be hurting a slicer.
It could be. You need the torque that matches your swing, not a pro's swing.
And just quickly on flex stiff, regular. A stiff from one brand is the same as a stiff from another.
Right. I wish. No, there's no industry standard. A stiff from one company might test as a regular from another. You can't just go by the letter printed on the shaft.
That is so frustrating.
It is. It's all about ball flight. If it goes straight, it's the right flex for you, whatever the letter says.
Okay, so we've covered the hardware. Let's talk software, the data.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a fitter, you see all these numbers on a screen. Launch angle, spin rate, angle of attack. What's the one number that really matters for distance?
If there's one cheat code, it's angle of attack, AOA.
That's just hitting up on the ball versus hitting down on it.
Exactly. With an iron, you hit down a negative angle of attack.
Mm.
With a driver on a tee, hitting down is a distance killer.
Why is that?
When you hit down, you create a ton for friction. That friction creates backspin. The ball just balloons up and drops, no roll. You're turning energy into spin, not forward distance.
So you want to hit up on it.
Hitting up, say, positive 5 degrees, launches the ball high, but with low spin. That's the holy grail. The data shows just changing your angle of attack from -5 to +5 can add 20 to 30 yards without swinging any faster.
20 to 30 yards. Just from that.
It's pure efficiency.
So this leads to that term spin loft.
Spin loft sounds complicated, but it's just the difference between your angle of attack and the actual loft on the face at impact. A big gap like hitting down with a high lofted club creates massive spin.
And you want that gap to be small.
As small as possible. If you hit up on it, you can use less loft on the face, which narrows the gap, reduces spin, and transfers more energy.
But does everyone want low spin? What about a slower swinger?
Great question. No. Optimization is speed dependent. If you swing fast, over 105, you want low spin, 1750 to 2300 RPM maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But if you swing slower, say 85 or 90, you actually need spin to create lift, maybe 2600 to 3000 RPM. If a slower swinger's spin is too low, the ball will just nosedive out of the air. It stalls.
So low spin isn't always good.
Not at all. It has to match your speed.
Okay, one last thing before we wrap up. Something more psychological. The visuals. How much does the look of the driver at address actually affect things?
More than you think. There's a huge visual bias. If you hand a player a driver that sits really closed, pointing way left,
Their brain panics?
Their brain panics. They think, I'm going to hook this, so they instinctively manipulate it, push their hands forward, open their stance to fix it.
So they cancel out the technology because they don't trust the look.
Exactly. This is why offset drivers can be so good for slicers, but people hate them.
The gooseneck ones? People think it's cheating.
Yeah, or that it's an old man's club. It's vanity. But it is 100% legal, and it's basically magic for a slicer.
How does it work?
It gives you a split second more time to square the face at impact. It allows the face to catch up naturally. It's not cheating, it's just geometry.
So get over the look if it finds the fairway.
That should be the only rule.
We've covered a staggering amount of ground here. Loft, face angle, weights, MOI, gear effect, shafts, angle of attack. it's also interconnected.
It's a system. That's the key word. A driver isn't just a stick with a head. It's a dynamic system. You change one thing, it affects everything else.
It makes me think that just randomly tinkering with the wrench is probably a bad idea.
You're just guessing. This is why every source we looked at hammered home the value of a professional fitting. A launch monitor sees the invisible data you can't.
It sees spin rate, it sees angle of attack.
The numbers don't lie.
So what's the final thought for our listener today?
I'd leave you with this. Optimization versus skill. We all try to buy a better game. And while you can't buy a swing, you can absolutely buy equipment that fights your swing.
Mm-hmm.
And if your gear is fighting you, if the shaft's too stiff or the loft is wrong for you, you aren't just playing golf. You're playing against physics. And physics always wins.
Physics always wins. I love that. So take a look at your driver. Don't be afraid of the wrench, but maybe go see a pro and find out what those numbers actually mean for you.
It's the best investment you can make in your game.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. Now go find that wrench and hit 'em straight.
See you on the course.